You can't go to the ball as Blade. He's a vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so it's
No, it's inappropriate. Okay, Vlad, the green jumpers or the black leather with the dragon belt?
Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Congratulations on your win at the 11-second club competition. Kudos to that. I did take a quick look at your animation a few times over, and it's a little fun. I love the traditional animation, the 2D animation background to this. I am, first and foremost, a traditional animator myself, so it's kind of nice to see a little bit more of that tradition in modern animation. So that's pretty cool. My name is Dimos Vrysellas. I am an animation veteran of over 25 years. I've worked in feature films, television series, commercials. I've directed. I've done everything from animation to direction. I worked at Dreamworks for many years. That's where I got sort of my the foundation of the majority of my skills. Previous to that, I worked in a small boutique shop in Toronto where I got my foot in the door, and then from there, basically, returned back to Canada and worked with several smaller studios, consultations, directing, running studios, that kind of stuff. So I've been around for a bit. Hopefully, I think I kind of know a little bit about animation, and I'm here to give you some of my insight on what your work looks like, what potential things that could be addressed, and hopefully offer you some advice that can make your work better in the future. Okay? So when I first see this,
You can't go to the ball as Blade. He's a vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so it's
No, it's inappropriate. Okay, Vlad, the green jumpers or the black leather with the dragon belt? You can't go to the ball as Blade.
It's a really nice little setup. You got the two characters in this sort of like dark dungeon-y kind of place, and obviously vampire-esque, creatures and stuff like that. It's a really nice setup and very fun to watch. Okay, I think that's really cool.
You can't go to the ball as Blade. He's a vampire
I'm gonna reduce the volume a little bit
No, it's inappropriate.
so that I can talk over it a little bit.
The black leather
I
with
might
the
actually
dragon
reduce
belt.
it a little bit
You
more.
can't go to the ball as Blade. He's a vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so it's
No, it's inappropriate. Okay, Vlad, the green jumpers or the black leather with the dragon belt?
Okay,
You can't go to the ball as Blade.
so what I'm seeing is,
No, it's inappropriate.
again, the setup is nice, the idea is nice, there's a lot of humor in it. Technically speaking, there needs to be a little bit more polish in some of the animation. It looks like some of the animations on like 4s and are not really fluid enough. I'll explain that a little bit later. Like for instance, if you look at this gentleman over here, the shorter fella, he kind of like gets into a frozen position here, and he doesn't really move out of this. He just pops out of it, and then freezes and pops out of it. It kind of misses. I'm kind of missing seeing the eases in and eases out, even if they were minor. It's still nice to get a little bit of some of that spacing in there to help give that eases and outs a little bit more. My dog just entered the room. Ollie, please go. Thank you. Sorry about that. So there's moments like that where I think you can spend a little bit more time in refining that and adding favors or eases to make it even look stronger. And I think if you play that,
You can't go to the ball as Blade. He's a vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so it's
No, it's inappropriate.
so it kind of feels like that character sticks quite a bit, and it looks like it just needs a little bit more care here and there, and it's drawing my attention as the audience. keep on looking to him because he's popping and freezing. So that's something to really pay attention to. The other gentleman, the Vlad, I guess, he's a little more fully realized. There's less of those pauses. He is a little more fluid. But what I see with him that is concerning is that there's a lot of twinning action or twinning poses, so his hands are doing the exact same rotations at the exact same time, presenting at the exact same time. It'd be nice to offer a little bit of variation between the spins. For instance, as this happens, find the one hand that you would want to go faster. That one would be fine, where this hand could still delay back just a little bit. Even though it is moving, let's delay that a little bit. And you can get that swoosh, just delay that a little bit more. And then that will lead just a little bit. And then as it comes to an end, that is starting to settle out while this is still slowly dragging back. This will already start to hit that point, well, where this will, in a few frames, stay behind, and then hit that point later. Because right now you hit both those points at the exact same time. It's just too abrupt, and it would be nice if those could be varied a little bit.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so it's
inappropriate. Okay, Glenn, the green jumpers or the black...
There's a couple of other things that I see. I mean, and this is really lovely, but there's a couple of other things. You know, when he puts his hand on his chest here to show off.
The boulder's blade, the vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires...
on the vampire hunter, and he drops his arm. It just seems to me that it would be stronger if he held that pose a lot longer, just to, you know, just to be all show offy. Look at me, I'm great, until he changes his mind or he is directed by the other character to react. So what does the other character say at that time?
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so
he says, well, vampires love Wesley Snipes, and that's where he can go, no. He can then lift his hand up from that position. I think there's just too much movement going from up here down to here and back up again, and it's kind of distracting. So simplifying some of these basic movements would really help a lot.
You can't go to the boulder's blade, the vampire hunter.
yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes, so
it's inappropriate. Okay, Glenn, the green jumpers or the black leather with the dragon belt.
Yeah.
You can't go to the boulder's blade, the vampire hunter.
yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes,
so it's inappropriate. Okay, Glenn, the green jumpers.
Okay, so also when I notice when he leans down, okay, Vlad, it almost feels like it all happens as one, like one movement. Like he moves from this position and lands to this position almost in one movement. Everything starts and stops at the same time. So I'm going to clear all that, and I'm going to suggest that as he starts to bend forward, he bends his knees ever so slightly, drags his head and body back a little bit, so there's a little bit of an arc, and then he can straighten his legs a little bit more as he leans back, and then S-curves his body ever so slightly while his head still leans back. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he gets to that point. It's all very rough, but you'll create a little bit more of an overlap
inappropriate. Okay, glad. The green jumpers.
It's very hard to see probably in these little sketches, but I think you get the idea of leading with the driving force, which is the hips.
No, it's inappropriate.
So your legs got to give way for the let me show you a little bit. So your legs will have to give way for the
Yeah, but then I
bend in order for the hips to move back. But when that happens, your arc will back, and I'm exaggerating this. So your back will arc back, which means your head will arc back. Sorry, we'll get back into this. And then as the legs straighten up, the body will turn the other way, and then the head will settle. So that motion will create a softer ease into that position. It doesn't have to be very loose, just a little looser. So it'd still be kind of on the rigid side, but with just a little bit of flexibility in that spine to help control that whole overall looseness.
The vampire hunter.
Yeah, but then I love Wesley Snipes.
No, it's inappropriate. Okay, glad. The green jumpers or the black leather with the dragon belt. You can't go to the ball with blade. The vampire hunter.
Overall, this is really, really nice. I think technically speaking, the limitations are that
the dragon belt. Can't go to the ball with blade.
Yeah, but then I love
the overlap and the actions tend to hit all at once, and you have to find a way to break apart that linear, all-in-one, all hit at the same time kind of movement by adding stronger breakdowns, overlapping arcs, S-shapes in the bodies and the spines, and one arm doing something slightly different than the other arm, so they're not exactly mirrored. And I think that's what's going to really help this assignment very well.
love Wesley Snipes.
Okay. And on a more creative, this is more, that's all technical speak, and which is all lovely, and the work looks great, but creatively your characters tend to stand still. And this kind of, I'm listening to the dialogue over and over and over again, and it kind of feels like, even if a character just takes a couple of steps or shuffles or slides their foot or slides their weight, I think that would be more interesting than just having the character's feet completely fixed to one part of the ground and not really playing with the weight and shifts or maybe even a step. Now, I know that the little character does do a side step a little bit, but it's so subdued and unseen that is very difficult to make sense of it. But I also think the main character, who is a little more animated, could be more like, hey, look at me, flip around, fly. He seems more fluid, and he seems like he can benefit more from that kind of action.
You can't go to the ball with blade.
But yeah.
Vampire hunter.
Yeah, but vampires love Wesley Snipes.
No, it's inappropriate. Okay, glad. The green jumpers
Cool.
or the black with the dragon belt. You can't go to
again, it's about the twinning, like when we talk, I'm of Greek descent, heritage, so I talk a lot with my hands. My hands do not do the same thing at the same time. One hand leads over the other. Sometimes I stop one hand to do this or that, and sometimes one hand goes down while the other hand goes up. Sometimes if I'm looping, they're counter looping, so one hand leads the other. I present one hand, the other hand points to the other hand, so they're not doing the same thing. One hand points to the other one presents. So there's little things like that that I think are imperative to do in performances that really help things stand out a lot more. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. So I'm trying to find out little other things. I think the background looks great, the setup looks great, the theme looks great. I like that you're going with a very black and white kind of like thematic kind of feel for everything. It's really cool. But overall, this is definitely a really good piece. It's just about little technicalities to help make the performance really good. Okay? So thanks for taking the time to do this. Thanks for allowing me to critique this and giving me a chance to share a little bit of my knowledge here. And hopefully whatever I've said has helped you out and probably potentially improving this society.